So first we start by taking blessings from our deities. Jagannath Baldev Subhadra ki jai. Gaur Nitai ki jai. Guru Parampara ki jai. So let's also do the prayers to our gurus. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnana Jana Shalakaya Chakshurunmitam Mena Tasmai Sri Guruve Nama. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Samini Tinamini. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarini. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So let's see today's shloka. Shlok number 31, chapter 1. Nache Shreya Anupashyami Atva Swajannam Ahave Na Kanksha Vijayam Krishna Nacha Rajya Sukhina Cha. I do not see how any good can come from killing my own kinsmen in this battle, nor can I, my dear Krishna, desire any subsequent victory, kingdom, or happiness. Discussing, Arjuna gave different logics, right? First, he gave the logic of compassion, sympathy for his relative. But what is that real compassion? Krishna will tell us in chapter number 2 that we'll see later. Okay, but now in this shloka, Arjuna is giving different logic for not fighting. Generally in our life, we collect some facts and take decision, but many times what we do is we have already taken some decision, and to support the decision, then we collect some fact and logics around it, isn't it? So means we prove our decision, we collect some facts around it just to prove our decision. So this is actually called as biased. It looks like Arjuna has already decided not to fight, and to support that, he is giving some or other arguments. But God has ultimate knowledge, right? With his knowledge, he will solve all doubts of Arjuna. So in today's shloka, Arjuna gave another argument. That is, he is not in favor of sense enjoyment. He's showing that he don't want to, do a sense enjoyment. So looks like so it looks like that this whole battle, right, is only for enjoyment, for enjoying the kingdom after winning the fight. So in fact, enjoyment is not the main focus here, right? The main focus is happiness of Lord Krishna. So Arjuna is trying to prove, I don't want anything, right? So in previous shloka, the first argument that he gave us about the compassion, and now he is talking about the sense enjoyment. So in this shloka, Arjuna is mentioning about Shreya. So just mark this word Shreya, because this shloka today is completely around this Shreya, which is very important. It is very important to understand what is Shreya. And the opposite of Shreya is Preya. So actually, what is Shreya? Shreya is the ultimate good for us. And what is Preya? Preya is actually the pleasure, the immediate pleasure. So please remember, we all should target for Shreya, not for Preya. So let's try to understand this with some examples. So let's see the first example. We see that a small child, right? A small child want to play day and night, which is very obvious, right? But his father or his mother ask him to go to school or study. That is Shreya, the ultimate good for. So and playing all the time is actually pleasure for him. That is nothing but Preya. So I hope you can now make out little difference between Shreya and Preya. So Shreya is the ultimate good from him, for him, which his father is teaching him. But what he wants is actually a Preya, which is the immediate pleasure by playing all the time. Right? So Arjuna, actually, if you see, he is talking about Shreya here. But just think about it, whether actually it is Shreya or it is Preya. So that we'll see, right? So we'll take another example. Let's say we eat something which we cannot digest, right? So, but we like it, so we eat. So it is, pleasure for now, but poison for later, because it will harm you in the later stage. So people look for immediate benefit or pleasure without calculating the future effect. They don't see what will happen later. They just see, oh, now it is giving me pleasure, so let's have it. The Arjuna, with the reference to future, is saying, what is the benefit if I kill my kinsman or relative with whom I will enjoy? He's asking, with whom? If I kill them, with whom I am going to enjoy them? So he is actually thinking for material pleasure. So now question we have to ask, is it right? See, our society is like that. Everyone want to enjoy life with friends, relatives, society. No one can imagine to enjoy life alone. So this is not natural. But is it possible? Is it possible to enjoy alone? So actually, from where we got this idea that we can't enjoy alone? So generally, when a person is alone, he or she gets a wife, husband, and then later children, with a hope that he will enjoy family life. And then he need house, land, society, etc. And to maintain all this, one require money, right? He requires a money to become happy. That is material life. So just living in a house with wife, children is not a grihastha ashram. So you just mark this grihastha ashram. Srila Prabhupada says it does not matter whether you live with your wife, children, or you live as a brahmachari or as a sannyasi. It actually doesn't matter. So he says there are so many divisions of life. Whichever status of life actually suits you, you can accept that. So it can be a brahmachari, it can be a grihastra, it can be vanaprastha, it can be sannyasa. So when the word ashrama is added, what it means? Brahmachari ashram, we say, grihastha ashrama, we say. So when we add this word ashrama, it means cultivation of spiritual life. That is very important. See, one can live at home with family, wife, children, but his or her duty should be Krishna consciousness. So if you see, Srila Prabhupada don't accept this Mayavadi principle. This Mayavadi sannyasis, he don't accept. Because there is no Krishna consciousness in that. This Mayavadi people will say, this world is false, Brahma is only true, so you give up this world. That kind of sannyasis we don't accept. You can become brahmachari, grihastha, sannyasa, whatever. There must be Krishna. then it will be ashram. That is grihastha ashram or sannyasi ashram, like that. So Arjuna was in grihastha ashram, right? We know that. And he wanted to serve Krishna. He was, Krishna's friend as well as his devotee. So if you actually see or refer chapter number 4, Krishna declares that Arjuna, you are my friend as well as you are my devotee. So Arjuna was also a family man. He has wife, he has children, but here the problem is, what is Shreya? What is ultimate good? So due to incomplete knowledge, there is a misunderstanding for Arjuna actually. He is talking about Shreya, but he completely misunderstood the meaning of Shreya. See, that is why Bhagavad Gita is required. Bhagavad Gita is so much important for us. Not only for Arjuna, for us, it is so much important. So Arjuna is thinking that Krishna is not so important. My family is more important. So this is the actually sign of Kanishta Adhikari, what we say. That is, Kanishta Adhikari is the lower stage of devotion. One may be interested in Krishna consciousness, but his real interest is how to improve his material life. So he go to temple, ask God for his material desires. God, give me money. God, give me pleasure. God, please remove all my material problems. He has gone there not to serve God, but to fulfill his material desire. But, Shastra says this is also good. At least he's going to God to ask something, right? But many, even don't care for God. They are termed as mudha, donkey. In Bhagavad Gita, 4 kind of people actually goes to God. Krishna says 4 kind of people who have done good deeds in the past worship me. So who are these? So let's see. Quickly, we'll just see who are these 4 kind of people. Number 1 is the Artha. Artha are the distressed people who are in distress. People who are in distress. Then Artharthi. Artharthi is the one who are the seeker of wealth, money, property. And the third one is Jignasu, the aspirant after knowledge. And the fourth one is Jnani. Jnanis are the wise man. So if you see, this Artha and Artharthi is referred to be Grihastha, people like us. The Grihastha, they become sometimes distressed if there is no Krishna consciousness. That condition actually is miserable. The term as dukkhalayam, right? Simply, working day and night, and then, at home, children is sick, wife is not satisfied with his, maybe the servant, and there are so many problems. But if Krishna is there in the center, then so many problems will be solved. So people don't know this. They think I shall be happy with my wife, with my children, with my house. No, that is not possible. So maybe they don't know about this Grihastha ashram. See, so one should be in Grihastha ashram, not in family life. If you see, even dogs and cats, they have family, right? And at a time, they give birth to 1 dozen children in a year 2 times also. So Arjuna is talking about Shreya here, ultimate good. But he is talking from the view of material perception that we have to note here. He does not know, and most of the people does not know what is the ultimate goodness or Shreya. It is when the Krishna is center of your life. So the ultimate good is not that we live with a family. So you live with your family, then you can't. So actually, see, when you live with your family, when you cannot renounce, right? So you live with your family, that is okay. But Krishna has to be there. That is the most important. So Arjuna is thinking in terms of material goodness. If my relatives are dead, then what is the good for me? What is the use of that victory and happiness for me? I cannot live alone, right? I cannot enjoy alone. Actually, he's thinking from his material point of view. So this is actually illusion for everyone. Everyone thinks that he will be happy with friends, family, and society, children, money. That is the culture of actually material life. Arjuna, he is not thinking that my ultimate good is to satisfy Krishna. So this is the Bhagavad Gita purport. One has to change to satisfy Krishna, not to satisfy family, society, or himself. We have to see whether Krishna is satisfied. That is the criteria. And that is the ultimate good also. So if Krishna is satisfied, then other things will be automatically satisfied. Everything will be in place. That they don't know. People are thinking, I can bring Krishna in my family provided. So they put a clause. If Krishna helped me to enjoy this material life, that is actually artha. But that is also good, as we seen that. We'll try to understand with an example of Dhruva Maharaj. So Dhruva Maharaj was actually artha. Artha means he wanted something material benefit. His stepmother actually insulted him. She said, you cannot sit on the lap of your father because you are not born in my womb. So he took it as insult. And Dhruva's father has actually two wives, right? So he was born of eldest queen. And the father was not very much attached to the elder queen. Father was attached to the junior queen. And this junior queen, she was very proud that the king is in my hand. So she insulted Dhruv Maharaj. And Dhruv Maharaj took it very seriously. He wanted to have, bigger kingdom than his father. So this is actually artharthi. So her mother advised Dhruva to take the shelter of Krishna. Krishna can fulfill all your desire. So Dhruva Maharaj was disturbed. At the same time, wanted the kingdom. So he went to worship Krishna. He has to be considered actually as a pious person. One who engaged in pious activity, they are sukriti. That is called as sukriti. So there are two kind of activity actually. Sukriti, which is pious, and duskriti, which is sinful. So those who actually go to temple or a church and ask God, give me food, give me money, remove my distress, they are also pious actually. They are not sinful, they are not impious. The impious people, they will never surrender to God. This class of people are referred as Muda or Gada. So these are actually the lowest of the mankind, whose knowledge has been taken away by Maya or by demons. So therefore, they are duskritino, impious. So Arjuna is pious, but still he wanted family benefit. That was the main issue. He wanted to be happy with family, friends, and society. Right? So, in this shloka, Arjuna says, I don't want victory, I don't want kingdom, but he wanted actually everything, because he don't know what is Shreya. So Shreya is actually Krishna. So actually, when one get Krishna consciousness, then he can say, I don't want this or I don't want that. So let's say if I own a big property, is it mine actually? No, it is actually all Krishna's. We have seen this in earlier shloka. Krishna is a proprietor, he is the enjoyer. I may be his representative. Krishna wants what everyone should be actually Krishna consciousness. That is what Krishna expects from us. See, earlier days, king duty is to make every citizen as Krishna consciousness. Only then he is great. He is actually doing his duty. Since the ruler didn't do that, so much, all such rulers are now abolished. In fact, if you see now, Srila Prabhupada is also not in favor of democracy rules. Here, he says one fool will vote another fool, and some fool will become, prime minister. That is not good for the citizen. So why the democracy is actually not good? It is simply because they are not trained. You see, Yudhishthir Maharaj or Arjuna or other, rulers, they were called as Raj Rishi. Why? Because in earlier days, kings were not only kings, they were saintly persons. An example is Yudhishthira or Amrish Maharaj, we can take. They are not ordinary kings. See, ordinary ruler think, I have so much of wealth, so let me enjoy material pleasure. So Yudhishthir, Amrish Maharaj, they were all Rajrishi. Okay, they are all Rajrishi. So actually, Shreya means to achieve Krishna consciousness. Arjuna don't want to kill his kinsmen because he thinks everything will be finished for him. And if he kills his own relative, with whom he actually is going to enjoy. But the fact is, even after killing kinsman or relative, if he can satisfy Krishna, that is Shreya. So that is the actually whole, essence of this particular Shreya, shloka about Shreya. So here Arjuna is thinking that Krishna is not that important. Krishna already told him to fight, but Arjuna is saying, what happiness I will get by killing my own relative. And to solve this problem, Arjuna became the disciple of Krishna, and Krishna advised this Bhagavad Gita. So now through this shloka, we know that what is Shreya, what is ultimate good for us. And we will be working towards Shreya as our ultimate goal instead of running after material pleasure.